Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are not just scratching the surface. We're ripping the Band-Aid off a wound that modern society is desperately trying to ignore.
It's probably the single most significant social shift of our lifetime.
It is, and yet the mainstream conversation, it either ignores it or, worse, just treats it like some kind of defect in men.
Exactly.
So before we even get into the meat of this, and trust me, this is going to be red meat for a lot of you, I have a job for you. If you want us to keep bringing you these kinds of unfiltered, deep analyses that you just won't get anywhere else, you need to hit that like button and subscribe right now.
It makes a huge difference.
It really does. So please, do it now. Okay, today's source material. This is heavy artillery. We're reviewing the ebook Men on Strike, Rejecting the Unconscionable Social Contract by Conrad Riker.
And this is not a light read.
No, not at all. Let me tell you, this book is ultra long, it is incisive, and frankly, it's fascinating. It's a deep, unapologetic dive into the red pill philosophy.
He's not pulling any punches. Raker is asking the big question. Why are men withdrawing from marriage, from the workforce, from society?
Is it just laziness? Or is it, as he argues, a completely rational response to a game that's been rigged?
It's a provocative premise. He's essentially writing a manual for the manosphere, for men's rights activists, or really for any man who feels like the rules have changed.
Right, and if what we talk about today resonates with you, if you want the full tactical guide for this, you need to go buy this ebook. It's on Amazon, Kindle, and Google Play Books.
You should definitely check it out.
So let's unpack this. Riker starts with this idea of the social contract. To understand why it's broken, we first have to understand what it was.
Right. If you look at the history of our institutions, before the capture, as he puts it, the deal was pretty clear. It was a trade-off.
A trade-off.
Yeah. Men provided protection and resources. They built things, fought the wars, all of that. In exchange, they got respect, they got authority, nurturing.
It was a symbiotic relationship. You do the dangerous stuff, and in return, you have a real stake in the civilization you're building.
Exactly. But Riker's core thesis is that this contract has been unilaterally nullified. It's gone.
So what's left?
What's left is what he calls responsibility without authority.
Wow.
Society still expects men to do the dirty, dangerous jobs, to be the disposable sex, but the reward for that risk, the authority, the respect, it's been stripped away.
Responsibility without authority. I mean, that's a recipe for burnout in any job. I'd quit.
And that is exactly what he says is happening on a societal scale. He also gives a lot of historical context for this. He calls it cultural contagion.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. He argues that before, our institutions, schools, courts, they were based on things like merit and logic.
But these ideologies, like Marxism and feminism, they acted like a virus. They took the old oppressor versus oppressed narrative, which was about class.
Right, bourgeoisie versus proletariat.
And they just swapped the nouns. Now, the oppressor is men, and the oppressed is women. Masculinity itself becomes the enemy.
So traits that were once seen as virtues like aggression, competitiveness, stoicism are now just toxic.
Precisely. But here's the massive irony he points out. You can't have a civilization without those traits. You need them to keep the lights on and the borders safe.
It's a total paradox. We're telling men their nature is evil, but please, use that evil nature to protect us. And that leads right into the blue pill.
The great illusion.
Yeah. For anyone who hasn't spent time in the manosphere, let's define that.
The blue pill is the comforting lie. It's the story society tells men. Just be nice, follow the rules, be vulnerable. You'll be rewarded with love and loyalty.
It's the Hollywood script. The nice guy gets the girl in the end.
And Riker says that is a trap, a total trap. He says this narrative creates simps and useful idiots, men who sacrifice everything for a reward that's never coming.
Because they're playing by a set of rules nobody else is.
Exactly. The map doesn't match the territory.
So if that's the lie, let's talk about the red pill reality. This is where he gets deep into biology versus ideology.
This is a crucial distinction in the book. Ideology might say gender is a construct, but Riker argues that biology is the bedrock. He brings up evolutionary psychology and specifically hypergamy.
Alpha fucks, beta bucks. He really doesn't mince words.
No, he doesn't. It sounds harsh, but the theory behind it is a dual mating strategy.
Okay, break that down.
The idea is that women are biologically hardwired to be attracted to top-tier genetic material, dominance, risk-taking. That's the alpha.
The spark.
Right. But for long-term security, for raising kids, they often settle for the reliable provider, the beta.
So the nice guy gets the bells, not the prize. He's the safety net.
And Riker argues that from a purely biological standpoint, niceness can actually be repulsive. In the wild, an overly agreeable male signals weakness, a lack of options, low value.
Which brings us to the shit test. I think every guy listening has experienced this, even if they didn't have a name for it.
Oh, for sure. Riker says it's not malice, it's a filter. A woman will test a man, create drama, challenge him to check his emotional stability, his frame.
She's shaking the ladder to see if you fall off.
That's a perfect way to put it. If you get emotional, if you crumble and apologize when you did nothing wrong, you fail the test. You've proven you can't handle pressure.
So modern culture tells men to be soft and vulnerable.
But the biological attraction mechanism is still looking for strength and stoicism.
Men are being trained to fail their own tests.
Systematically. And Riker says this conditioning starts way before dating. It starts in kindergarten. Chapter 8, The War on Boys.
This section was infuriating to read. He talks about how the education system has just been completely captured.
It's designed for girls, by women.
And he uses that story of Josh Welch to illustrate it.
The Pop-Tart kid.
Yes. He was 7 years old. 7. And he chewed a Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun.
And was suspended for it.
Suspended for a pastry.
It sounds absurd, but his point is darker. Schools now pathologize normal male behavior. Fidgeting, rough play, competition. These are seen as ADHD or signs of toxicity.
And the solution is to drug them. Ritalin, Adderall.
Chemically restrain them to make them compliant, to make them act more like girls. You crush that masculine spirit at age 7, you don't have to worry about it at 27.
And if the schools don't break you, the legal system is waiting. He calls it the legal labyrinth.
The family courts, in his telling, are a slaughterhouse for men. He cites the statistic that women get custody roughly 80% of the time.
And the money.
Alimony and child support, he calls it indentured servitude.
Okay.
And then there's the double standard of my body, my choice.
A woman has total reproductive autonomy. A man has 0.
0, say, but 100% of the financial liability if she chooses to have the child.
It's responsibility without authority all over again.
And it continues in college with title naics, and yes means yes. Due process is just gone. You don't need beyond a reasonable doubt anymore.
It's just preponderance of evidence. Basically a coin flip.
It effectively removes the presumption of innocence for accused men. It is a minefield.
So after all that, what does this do to the idea of male privilege?
He calls it the privilege myth. He tells you to look past the glass ceiling and look into what he calls the glass cellar.
The glass cellar. That's a powerful image.
Yeah, it's the basement of society. He points out that men make up 93% of workplace fatalities. Loggers, miners, fishermen.
The jobs that actually keep civilization running.
Exactly. And then you have the deaths of despair. Men's suicide rates are 3 to 4 times higher than women's.
So his argument is?
His argument is chilling. It's that society cares about a man's utility, not his humanity.
Yeah.
And when that utility stops, when he can no longer provide or protect, he's discarded.
That hits hard. When the utility stops, the man is discarded. It explains a lot of the anger you see out there.
It does. But Riker doesn't want men to stay angry. He wants them to get smart. And that's where he offers the solution, the strike.
MGTOW. Men going their own way. The media loves to paint this as a bunch of guys sulking, but he frames it very differently.
He frames it as a necessary economic correction in the sexual marketplace. It's not about hating women, it's about supply and demand.
It's like going Galt from Atlas Shrugged. When the producers are punished, they stop producing.
It's all about achieving what he calls outcome independence. This is the core psychological shift. In any negotiation, the person willing to walk away holds all the power.
If you need the relationship to feel whole, you've already lost.
You've lost your leverage. So what does this look like in practice? He talks about going into monk mode.
Which doesn't mean moving to a monastery.
No, not at all. It means withdrawing your attention and your resources from a system that doesn't value you. Stop simping. Stop giving away validation on social media for free.
And focus entirely on yourself.
Entirely. Fitness, finance, building skills. He even brings up the bachelor premium.
I love this part. The financial case for staying single.
It's just simple math. In a legal climate where marriage can be so financially risky, single, childless men often build wealth much, much faster. They retain their capital.
So the strategy is build yourself up, keep your resources, and refuse to play a rigged game.
And by doing that, by withdrawing, you force the market to correct. Scarcity creates value. If male commitment becomes scarce, the value of that commitment goes up.
It's basic economics. You know, going through
Yeah.
this book, it's intense. It really reframes the whole issue from men are failing to men are rationally reacting to a bad set of incentives.
Exactly. It's just cause and effect.
We've covered a lot, from biology to the institutional traps to finally the strategy of MGTOW. It's a lot to digest.
It is. But the main takeaway is that knowledge is power. Understanding this perspective isn't about becoming bitter. It's about navigating the world as it is, not as you wish it were.
Seeing the world as it is, yeah.
And I think Riker leaves us with a very, very heavy question, one that the rest of society is too afraid to even ask. If men truly go on strike, if they stop building and protecting because the deal is just too bad, who keeps the lights on?
Who keeps the wolves at bay?
That's the question. Because civilization is fragile, and it relies on that social contract. If it's truly broken, what happens next?
That is the thought I want everyone to sit with today. This is a potential collapse of the very infrastructure, physical and social, that we all depend on.
It's a warning shot.
Listen, we have only skimmed the surface here.
Yeah.
If you want the full manual, the full tactical guide to navigating this era, you need to read Men on Strike by Conrad Riker.
It's essential reading. Go to Amazon Kindle or Google Play Books and grab the ebook. Support this kind of work.
Absolutely. And for ongoing analysis, because this landscape changes daily, you have to follow the author on Substack. His handle is @ConradRiker.
That's @ConradRiker on Substack. The analysis is just top tier.
Go give him a follow. And of course, if you got value from this deep dive, please like this episode and subscribe to the show. It helps us keep the lights on here too.
Thanks for tuning in.
Stay sharp out there. We'll see you on the next deep dive.